Halewick. Passengers for Halewick, prepare the message you refused. The last train home never stopped between Dunford and Briarfield. Not once. Not in bad weather. Not even when signal failures left us crawling through the fields with the lights flickering. But at 11:57, mine stopped at Halewick. And Halewick does not exist. I knew that because I had taken that train 4 nights a week for 3 years. Same carriage if I could get it. Same seat if nobody had beaten me to it. Same sandwich in my bag, untouched after 9 hours of customer complaints. That night, the sandwich was tuna. It had gone warm. My mother would have hated that. She used to say, "Eat it or throw it out, Lena. Don't keep punishing food." I was thinking about that when the train slowed. Outside the window, the black fields gave way to a platform. 1 yellow lamp. 1 wooden bench. 1 sign with black letters flaking off in strips. Halewick. There is no Halewick on that line. The doors opened, nobody moved. There were 6 of us in the carriage. A sleeping student, a nurse with her badge turned backward, the man in the paint-stained jacket, the old woman knitting with no wool, and an old man holding a newspaper from another decade. And me. Lena Hayes, 32. Call centre headset still dented into my hair. The speaker above the doors crackled again. Halewick. Passengers for Halewick. Please prepare the message you refused. The student woke up. The nurse looked at the floor. The old woman stopped moving her empty needles. I checked my phone. It showed 3 bars. Every app said the same thing. No network. Is this some rail replacement thing? I asked. Nobody laughed. The man in the paint-stained jacket stood. He had a small envelope in his hand. It was bent at the corners, softened from being carried too long. "Don't," the nurse whispered. He looked at her. "I never opened it," he said. "Then don't give it your name." He stepped off anyway. The lamp over the platform buzzed harder. The man sat on the bench and put the envelope beside him. At the far end of the platform, a woman in a blue raincoat came out of the dark. The man pressed both hands to his face. I could not hear him through the glass, but I saw him mouth 1 word. Mara. The woman picked up the envelope. The train lights blinked. When they came back, the bench was empty. No man, no woman, no envelope. The doors closed. The train moved. No one screamed. No one asked where he went. The nurse kept staring at the empty bench. "What is this place?" I said. The old man folded his newspaper. The headline was dated May 4th, 1986. "A place that answers unopened things," he said. "Letters?" "Letters, voicemails, last words, apologies. Anything you kept sealed because hearing it would make it real." My hand moved to my coat pocket. It found the old shape of my phone before I could stop it. The old woman in the green coat leaned toward me. "If it asks you to confirm who you are," she said, "do not give it your full name." "Why?" Her needles clicked once. No wool, still knitting. "Because it can know a name," she said. "It only owns what you give back." She lifted the empty needles. I gave too much. "What did it take?" She looked at her hands. "I know someone taught me this. I can't remember who." The train should have reached Briarfield next. Instead, it slowed again. Same lamp, same bench, same sign. Halewick. The speaker crackled. "Lena Hayes!" My stomach dropped so hard I grabbed the seat in front of me. The nurse closed her eyes. The student stared at my pocket. The old woman said, "Only first names, love." The doors opened for me. I stood up. My bag slid off my shoulder. Nobody picked it up. Nobody told me not to go. They all knew the rule. So did I. My mother had called me on a Tuesday at 4:18. I remember because I was in the staff bathroom at work with the toilet lid down, my forehead against the stall door, listening to a man on line 3 shout that I had ruined his holiday. My screen lit up. Mum, I let it ring. Then I let it go to voicemail. She had been sick for months. Not dying, she said, just tired. I knew she was lying. I told myself I would listen when I got home. Then I told myself I would listen after dinner. Then she died on Friday morning. After the funeral, I deleted the voicemail. Not by mistake. I deleted it twice. I wanted no way back. I stepped onto the platform. The air had no weather, no cold, no wind, only dust and old rain. At the far end of the platform stood a green payphone with a cracked plastic hood. It began to ring. Once, twice, 3 times. I walked to it. Each step made no sound. The receiver was warm when I picked it up. State your full name to release the message. Lena Hayes. I stopped. The cord tightened against my wrist. Static. Then my mother's voice. Lena! I almost said my full name. The old woman's warning caught me by the throat. Mum? There was a little breath on the line, the one she took before pretending nothing hurt. You never called me back, she said. I shut my eyes. I know. I waited. I know. Do you? No anger. That would have been easier. I held the receiver with both hands. I was tired, I said, and scared, and I thought if I listened you would need me to be better than I was. The line hissed. I needed you to be my daughter. I bent forward. I'm sorry. Say the whole thing. My throat clicked. I'm sorry I left you alone with it. The darkness behind the payphone softened. For 1 second I smelled her kitchen. Tea with too much milk. Lemon soap. Rain on the back step. You can leave it here, she said. The guilt? If you want. What happens if I do? The payphone cord twisted against my wrist. You go home lighter. And what does Halewick keep? Silence. What does it keep? My mother's voice came back smaller. Something warm enough to matter. Behind the glass of the phone booth, the yellow lamp flickered. For 1 second, I saw the old woman from the carriage reflected there, her empty needles moving in her lap. Halewick had not made her lighter. It had only left her with the shape of a loss and no name for it. The train bell chimed. The doors would close soon. Which one? For a second, I could not remember the tune she used to hum at the sink. I knew there had been a song. I knew she always got it wrong. But the notes were gone. That one, she said. I almost hated her for saying it that clearly, because I wanted to let go. I wanted to wake up without seeing her name on my phone. I wanted to stop checking old backups at 2 a.m, knowing there was nothing there. On the little metal shelf beneath the phone, my old mobile appeared, the one I had traded in 2 years ago. Its screen was cracked in the corner. One notification glowed. Voicemail, Tuesday, 4:18. You can listen, my mother said. Here. If you want. My thumb hovered over the screen. For a second, I was back in the staff bathroom. Fluorescent light, locked stall. My mother's name in my hand. Me, breathing like a coward. I pressed play. Her voice came through thin and tired. Hi, sweetheart. I know you're working. Don't call back if you're busy. A cough. I just wanted to hear your voice, that's all. Another breath. If I get strange on the phone sometimes, don't carry all of it. I'm frightened, and frightened people can be selfish. You don't have to be perfect to be my girl. She paused. Eat something. Open a window. I love you, Lena. That's the whole message. The voicemail clicked off. The platform went still. No monster, no punishment. The speaker said, Final call. My mother's voice returned through the receiver. What will you leave? I thought about saying everything. I wanted to say everything. Give me the song back. I said. Then leave something else. I looked at the phone. The blue coat came back to me then. Plastic bear buttons. Mud on one sleeve. My mother crouched in the hallway, laughing because I had screamed like the coat was wounded. I understood the price then. Not the object, the proof. The first small proof that if I cried hard enough, she would come back into the room. I pressed my hand against my mouth. Take the blue coat, I said. Not the way you said my name, not the kitchen, not the song, the coat. The payphone clicked. Some small door inside my head shut. I knew there had been a coat. I could not see its colour anymore. I put the old phone back on the shelf. And take the part where I keep making you forgive me again, I said. There was a long silence. Then my mother exhaled. Good. The train doors began to close. I ran. For the first time all night, my footsteps made sound. Inside the carriage, the old woman stood with my bag in one hand. I jumped. The nurse grabbed my coat and pulled. I fell into the carriage on my knees. The doors sealed behind me and the train moved. Nobody spoke. The old woman gave me my bag. Did it keep your name? She asked. I touched my throat, then my coat pocket. My real phone was there, warm, heavy. No, I said. Good. Outside the window, the platform slipped away. The sign was the last thing I saw. Not Halewick anymore. For 1 second, as the lamp flickered out, the letters changed. Go home. The train reached Briarfield at 12:23. No announcement, no apology, no proof. On the Briarfield platform, my phone had signal again. One file sat in my voice memos. No sender, no title, just a date. Tuesday. I pressed play, static. A breath. My mother's voice close as a hand on my cheek. Go home, Lena. Sleep. And open a window. I did. That night, for the first time in 11 months, I dreamed of her kitchen. Not the hospital. Not the phone. The kitchen. Rain on the back step. Tea cooling on the table. My mother at the sink, humming badly, getting every third note wrong. When I woke up, I remembered everything. The call, the waiting, Halewick. I remembered that there had been a coat. I could not remember its colour, or the buttons. I opened the window. Cold air came in. The grief was still heavy. This time I carried it to the open window.